All right, I was thinking it's time for a positive rant. All right, let's think about. I was just thinking about, the influencers you see online. These. It doesn't matter whether they're, they're the exercise folks or the yoga influencers, the meditators, a big one I see is these sort of like group empowerment. Which is awesome to be empowered by a group, but often what you're seeing is this, you know, uh, use your energy, let me talk about the ways that you can encourage you and be, but it costs you like $80 a month or $80 a week or $80 a session and it's this really awesome way of these people spending your money and showing you how incredibly you're supposed to be living your life. But then ultimately you just end up feeling sort of less, you feel sort of guilty, you feel kind of left out. Why am I not, living that way? And um, I don't think that we need anybody living their best life to show us how we live ours. I think the question is really asking ourselves, what does our best life look like? And again, if connecting through, social media or, those, whatever online venues feels correct, or, if your soul feels empowered, your spirit feels uplifted, you are taking in that vital life force that you need through watching somebody else have experiences, and that's awesome. But um, there's also just having experiences ourselves. Often what happens, I think, in this world is we have been taught to function much like cattle do. We've been taught to be passive, to ask for permission, to stand in line, to wait turns, to look where everybody else is and then run to that group and figure out what it is that we might be missing out on, which is understandable. I mean, we're animals, and we're pack animals, and we are, tribal. But we live a very disjointed and non-tribal sort of stance. Our communities on the whole are sort of broken apart and separated much by computers and social media and phones and the rapid paces of our lives. And I think most of all, though, is um, this idea that we are not allowed to trust our own beliefs. The things we're seeing, we have to sort of go out and ask everybody else to confirm with us whether it's real or it's not real. And um, I think that idea of sort of, asking for permission, being taught to stand in lines, be accepting being under somebody else's control, and then constantly looking for others for validation about what's going on. Um, I think it creates a great opportunity for us to not really encounter our power. It allows us to sort of give it away. And that's, I think, a big part of that is that we have been trained to give up our power, to be looking for some higher thing, some higher being, some person, or something that's existing beyond what we are, something greater, something more beautiful, something more handsome, something stronger, something younger, you know. And I want to say that yes, there are things, if we want to start, saying that we can quantify things into attractive, less attractive, handsome, thinner. Yes, sure. But at the end of the day, all of those things are really just perception, and everybody's perception, although relatively similar at times, is also totally unique. Because your perception is not only just what you're seeing, it's also all of your life experience. So everything you've ever done, everything you've ever seen is going to shape the way you're interpreting what you're interpreting. And then if you want to go into more of quantum entanglement and string theory and these pieces, the likelihood is that you're actually shaping your own reality based on how you're viewing things, and also that that heart mind connection. Again, like, let's not forget, we are living in a holographic experience and world. Okay, maybe am I going too deep, am I going too fast? Probably not, but let's step back. So if we don't go into all of that, if we just look at the simple thing of the everyday journey, how do I not lose my mind between 9 to 5? How do I not lose my mind from 9 to midnight? How do I not lose my mind? How do I not lose my mind? Well, I think the first piece is to claim it. Oh, right, this is my mind. And if it is my mind, then I am also sharing it with other minds in a space. Then it's wise to be mindful of my needs and what I'm seeing. It's okay to like things, not like things. It's okay to do things or not do things. But I do not think that we need leaders, whether they're the most beautiful influencer in yoga you've ever seen, they're probably not going to tell you how to be any better of a yogi. You're going to find that by doing the work. You're going to do that by asking yourself, where am I looking to go? What do I want my life to look like? What do I want it to be shaped like? What do I want to experience? And two, if I miss out on something that everybody else is having such a great time doing and posting pictures of on social media and whatnot, if I miss out on that, is it still okay? Probably is. But we've been trained to feel like that's so paramount, missing out. Why? Well, because we've given our power and authority up to somebody else and something else. So whatever experience they're having must be the experience I would have if I was there. But it wouldn't. You'd be having your own experience, like the experience you're having now. The question, really, I think, if anything, is so much less about, what, where, how, it's really about the actual how. That part of it, that word how. Why is even more. What's your intention? Why are you here? What are you looking to do out of every day? What is your vision? Where do you see yourself going? Where do you want to be going? Where have you come from? What have you gained and what have you lost? What do you think you can grow? And how is it beneficial to you? Is it beneficial to others? In what way? And how can it be? And if it is, how do you make it more beneficial? How do you make it larger, more interesting, stronger, massive? I guess what I'm attempting to say, although I know myself, my brain is sort of all over the place. Yeah, have been a mental recreational warrior for a long time, I guess that's best to put it. But I do believe, though, that as we dip our buckets into those wells, we do bring back something nourishing and refreshing. And I think the best we can do is try to spread that drink of knowledge around, if at all we have it to share. But I just want to say that you are as amazing as that leader that you want to give your power up to. You are just as deep a yogi as any yogi that you think you are seeing. Your own home is just as gorgeous as any beach in Costa Rica. It's also just as ugly, you're also just as horrible, and you're also just as useless. That's right. All of us. We're duality. Everything we're doing, it's an equal and opposite exchange. For everything positive you do, you produce something negative. But we're here in an infinite cycle of spiritual growth. You don't have to rush. You don't have to be in a hurry to get through it, You can just be here. And in being here, and as you're here, ask yourself from your own loving center, whatever your loving center is, and wherever it drives you to, whatever you feel most connected to, follow that voice. It's okay. It really is. I love you so much. Good luck.